Good morning. Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel. My name is Chrissy, and for anyone new, I just let my guides channel through and get messages to you. So today I'm going to be doing a prediction reading for May the 6th. Now, stay watching. There could be a message in here that you're meant to receive today, and I'll just close my eyes and we'll just get started. I'm definitely getting those feelings of overwhelm. Like it's almost like when things are collapsing and it makes you feel overwhelmed. And that's what I'm kind of getting for a lot of people out there. And they're showing me, the example is, of course, Ukraine. Like if you think of people when a bomb goes off and then they're just sitting out on the streets just totally overwhelmed. Well, that's the kind of energy that they're giving me today. I'm not saying we're in that extreme situation, but the energy that a lot of people are feeling out there is this feeling of overwhelm. And I do still believe it's about the way things are rolling out so rapidly. It's really it's throwing people off their feet because it's just too fast. I'm looking out here actually out my bedroom window, and the autumn leaves are almost off the trees, and you can think about it as there's still like this handful of autumn leaves that haven't dropped. So this is what I'm getting. And even though we're feeling overwhelmed and we can see all the agendas and what they're rolling out, there's still leaves, like for example, on the tree. So it hasn't all finalized yet. And that's kind of what the analogy is that they're giving me, that things aren't completed yet. So every leaf kind of hasn't fallen off the tree and off we go. There's still things that haven't come to fruition around their reset agenda, and that's why they're showing me kind of those leaves kind of hanging by a thread and dangling, because there's still things that they haven't actually implemented as yet. So this is certainly far from finished, but I do believe they've really rolled a lot out and set a lot up for their agenda moving forward. So I'm getting a lot of this. People are feeling very overwhelmed, and I think you don't need to really have your eyes open to even sense that or feel that out there, that a lot of people are very overwhelmed by. And if you think about it, it's just too much information coming at people. It doesn't matter where you're living around the globe. There's just too much information coming at people. Look, when you talk to a lot of older people, and you guys will probably find that too, they just glaze over. Even for me, the whole digital currency system and everything just feels so overwhelming, and how's that going to work? And it just opens up like so many questions, doesn't it? And I know some of you young people have probably already got your head around it. You kind of seem very digitally sort of savvy with it all. But for a lot of people sort of, around that 40s onwards, this is really challenging for us. And that's why I feel like we're feeling sort of quite overwhelmed. I'm sure younger people are too, but this is more around the agenda and what's kind of being rolled out. That I'm definitely getting those feelings of really overwhelmed. I would even say there's some feelings of dread, because I think the dread comes from, where is this actually going? So people know what's been happening in Shanghai and some other countries like Canada, and they don't want their lives to turn into that. And that's quite a scary kind of thought, to be honest, because in Canada you've got no voices. Shanghai, they've just got no power, no voices, nothing. They've had everything just taken completely away from under them. It's like the rug was pulled in Shanghai, and these are examples of that real dictatorship and that communism that could be sort of coming at us. Gosh, here in Australia, we know there's a lot of things that are starting to fit that pattern. And like I said the other day, China's taking over a lot of small islands surrounding Australia, and I'm sure they are in other countries as well. So we know that China's trying to become this really dominant force and assert themselves globally. So I don't know if like Canada and Australia and a few other places were experiments. I'm not sure if this is going to be implemented everywhere or what's going to happen. I've got sun lines everywhere. Sorry, you'll have to excuse them. I'm trying to get in the right position. But I'm definitely getting that people are feeling overwhelmed, and there's this like sense of dread about the future. Now, I'll just see what else we get. And the guides are actually saying, look, don't get sorry, I just moved my chair. The sun's a bit bright. Don't get disturbed about all this. Now, it's very easy to become disturbed, and they're showing me like that they want you to picture yourself sitting on a big rock. So they want you to kind of, by showing me that image, they want you to kind of ground yourself. Now, it's like sitting on a rock is sometimes something that we do when we're wanting to chill out, we're wanting to calm our mind, we're wanting to observe something. And this is the image that is unfolding at the moment in my mind, is just that sitting on that comfortable rock. I mean, it could be a big rock. It doesn't matter what sort of rock it is, but it's a big, like, boulder. And you're sitting on it, and it's got some warmth from the sun. If we think about rocks and different things, they come from the earth, so they have a good energy vibration as well, because they can help to sort of ground your energy. So, I mean, you might literally go and sit on a rock today or in the next week and just have that little time to yourself. And again, getting back to your own thoughts. But this is what they're showing me today. It's showing me you kind of sitting on this rock, grounding yourself, looking out, contemplating life, not feeling overwhelmed, just breathing, just being. And that's the image that I'm getting, because you don't need to get caught up in that overwhelm and that dread. And that's what the image is that I'm definitely getting today, is just you sitting on a rock, and being very peaceful. You know, taking those breaths and just relaxing. Because again, what happens is if you get caught up with where you're heading, I've said it before, you can create more of it. So you want to do whatever you can to stop your thoughts racing away on it. Like, I know we talk about it here on my platform and things like that, but if anything, we actually have a giggle about it. But I don't constantly have my thoughts on that all day, every day. Like, I go out, I do the gardening. I'm sure you guys go and distract yourself. And I guess that's kind of the message too. The way to like ground yourself like on that rock is to go and distract your mind. So distract your mind from these feelings, and that's how you start to open up your chest and stop those feelings of dread and overwhelm and things that can be kind of starting to consume you again. And that's what I'm definitely getting today, is just use distraction. So if you're feeling in any of these states, which look, a lot of us are, there's still things going on. Like I said, we've got Flurona here in Australia at the current time, and you know, of course, people are dropping dead all over the place according to the news. I'm sure you guys are getting the same experience out there. Don't even doubt that. But this is what they're saying to me. Like, you can't allow your emotions and your fears to rise up again. So this is how you work on your overwhelm and those feelings of dread about pretty much everything. You know, finance and all that is just getting overwhelming. But this is how you do it. You have to go and distract your mind. So whatever you're doing today, make sure you're just doing that task. So if you're going out, for example, I'm going to probably do some gardening. I might go shopping. I know some of you love cooking. We do all different things. Some people love going camping and bushwalking. But when you're doing that activity, what the guides are saying to you, make sure you're really there and you're only there in that space. Don't let yourself drift away in your thoughts and your sort of emotional state. Just really be present. And that's the message of sitting on that rock today, is just be present. Because we only have this moment in time. Like, I'm sitting here making this video. We don't know, none of us know when we leave the house what's going to unfold today. So you don't want to be focusing just on that vibration of dread and overwhelm, because it's going to bring that vibration to you. We know that's how it works, and I know that you guys are awake out there, and I know you understand about vibration and how we kind of attract things into our experience. So you don't want that. So you've got to go and now distract your mind and get it onto other things and really be present with that activity. It might be that you read a book or you're just reading the newspaper. You know, not that many of us probably read the newspaper anymore, but, you know, you might find that relaxing to just see what's happening in the world. Ooh. So these are the kind of things. Just be there with your coffee and just chill out and unwind. And that's the message I'm getting for you guys today watching my video. Go and imagine sitting on that rock and just being in that beautiful moment. And like I said, because we can't control a lot of other things, so we might as well control what we're doing and where we are. I'll see what else we get through today. Now I'm getting New Zealand today. New Zealand, you're going through a lot of changes. In the background, of course, we know they're always in the background. Definitely changes in the government. It's like the government platform. So to me, in that government, it's behind the scenes. And I would say that Jacinda Ardern is actually doing a lot of layering when it comes to government. She's trying to sort of sort things out into quite separated parties now. And on a large scale, she's like, I would say that she's reconfiguring everything. I'm definitely getting, what is it? I'm getting like the army structures and the military. I'm getting a lot of changes around that. There's a lot of changes, obviously, we would know around business decisions. I feel like she's really layering in the way she's going to move forward. And you would think a lot of this would be about the reset, because her being a global leader, we know where that's all heading. So she's doing this very strong, it's like separating all the areas in order to make them stronger. So that's what I'm getting for you in New Zealand. I'll see if there's anything more there. And she's trying not to make it obvious. She's trying to do this all like under the radar. We know that they are. There could be that she's giving them a lot more funding and setting up ways for them all to work sort of more independently as governing kind of bodies. That's what I'm getting for New Zealand, that you've got a lot of change going on in the background. Definitely, because we know, and I keep saying that this is globally, that they're feeding us that sort of false illusion that life is great, nothing to see here, let's get on with it, everything's wonderful. But all the while, and meantime, they're still feeding the narrative of the V, and it's like, what? And people, this is where it's very hard with people waking up to piece all this together, because it's not adding up. Here we are opening up, but then there's variance, but then they're affecting all our financial situations dramatically. So this is where people are trying to do the maths, and I keep saying it. The people who are still waking up, not you guys, because you're already awake, but you know that. The people who are still waking up, it's not adding up and making any sense, because it's like, well, why? We know financially, you know, the virus has probably cost scabillions, but also over here, people are seeing now that, like Big Pharma, all these big billionaires and people running the show, their lives are still becoming more abundant, and their wealth is really growing. So people are seeing that, and then they're also seeing that middle class and lower class, as I said, are being pushed down and joined together. So the rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. And that is becoming very visually obvious to people, but it's not adding up and making sense, because people are questioning now, why is this happening? Why is all this? And I mean, it's a lot. You think about, like, we've sort of managed to detach ourselves and we're standing back, like I always talk about, watching the show. But these people are caught up in the show. So it's like anything. If you were up on stage, you're caught up in all that, and you're in that performance. You're not seeing it from the perspective that the awake sort of people and the people who are looking at it from the outside, you're not seeing that perspective. So you're not seeing the whole picture. People who are still caught up in that, they're only seeing it from their perspective. So they've got to try and piece all these pieces together, and it's very confusing for them now. That's what I'm definitely getting today, is that people who are starting to shift are very, very confused because none of it's making sense. And that's what I said about that. A lot of them aren't in the mass psychosis anymore. They've somehow, I don't know how it quite works, but they aren't deep in that psychosis. There is the small proportion of society, like I talked about the other day, who will probably always stay stuck in that because that's their safe place. They like to be dictated to, and they like to be guided and told what the right things are to do, and they like to be a good citizen. And now you've got this the bunch in the middle that I do talk about. Like, we're over here, we've already made our choices and our decisions, and we've kind of moved on. But you've got this large group, which comprises of a huge variety of people that are really starting to see things, but they're still adding it up. So it's not like they've completely gone from this over here, that following that narrative, to, oh no, I'm going to go and do my own thing and I'm just detached now. That's not where we're at. These people are still adding it up. And that's a great thing. We want people to start seeing things. We want people to start researching. That's what I keep saying. We want them to find things out. We want them to ask questions. But you imagine if something's happened to you where you've been mandated, got your 2 jabs, for example, and now they're saying this is going to be a continuous journey and we're building Moderna factories, and you got it because you were forced to get it with work. You're going to start to question that. You cannot tell me that people aren't questioning that. So none of it's making sense. Like, if this was about a virus, you know, everybody's, gosh, I can tell you now, everybody pretty much who's jabbed here has had the big V, and a lot of the people who weren't didn't. So this is another thing. You've got to remember, people are seeing all this. They're kind of thinking, but why haven't they all got? Because that was what they were told. They were told everyone was going to get sick and be banking up the hospitals, and that hasn't happened. They got jabbed and now they're all sick. People here are coughing. I'm not joking. Continuously got coughs. Someone else had bronchitis. People are getting shingles. I know 2 people that have had shingles, and I guarantee they were boosted. So this is what you've got to remember, that sometimes it takes time for people to sort of to look back on their journey and piece those things together until suddenly they have their light bulb moment. So this is where we're at. We're at this big awakening group that is still trying to work this out, because a lot of people were coerced. Like I said, my sons and all his mates got it so they could go to the pub, being 18, of course. And, you know, is that really about health? I don't think so. And, you know, these younger ones are getting older too, so they're starting to become more aware. And they don't want to keep getting boosted and all that because they didn't do it for health. So this is what we've got. We've got all this playing out now, and I want you to sort of really hold that vision. All the time. It's very important too that you're still over here protecting yourself and doing the things that nourish you, nurture you, keep you happy, healthy and whole, because these people are going through their awakening, and it can be a bit of a shit fight emotionally, because it becomes very traumatic when people are they're having their soul breakdowns and they're experiencing old emotions that are just like coming out like a volcano and spewing out of them. You've got to make sure, and I've said it, that you stay out of their vicinity. And that's why a lot of us, I think, have really simplified our lives. We've ditched a lot of friends. We're kind of staying in those safe places. We've quickly worked out who's who in the zoo and who we can and can't be around. And that's fine. I've moved on. You guys have moved on. We've kind of got to that much better place. I know a lot of you are still battling out there with family. I get it, because a lot of them are still stuck in this confusion. But leave them there. It's not your confusion. We had our confusion way back when? Probably 1.5 years, 2 years ago. So we're out of that now. So just leave them be. And that's definitely the message I'm getting from the guides today. And it's showing me again, you just stay on your rock, because it's that rock that will bring you stability in grounding you. And that's just an example. Look, you could literally go and sit on a rock today and just find that peaceful place too, because, you know, it's having making room for your thinking mind to allow like new information to come to you as well. So I'm definitely getting that visual today. I'll see if there's anything else that comes up. Ooh, this is interesting. I'm getting mysteries are upon us. So, to be honest, they're they're playing me the music of like the X-Files, that dun 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 dun. It's like this could be something extraterrestrial. It could be about the UFO kind of things. There might be some sightings. There might be some connections to that outer universe. I'm definitely getting a little bit of this kind of extraterrestrial activity. People might start spotting things, and this could be globally. It doesn't matter where you're living. People might be starting to see things now, and they're saying to me, there's a lot of confusion even in these areas because we know about there's so many satellites. Gosh, look at Elon Musk and all his satellites. Yeah, and I'm getting this kind of thing that people just think things are, people think things are satellites. So when you're looking up at the sky, you might be just out looking at the night sky, which a lot of us need to do a bit more, I think. You might start to see things moving, and a lot of us would put those things down to like, oh, there's a satellite moving across the sky. But some things will not sort of appear that way. I'm definitely getting this kind of extraterrestrial activity that's going to create a lot of question marks and mystery. I'm definitely getting that word mystery today. Oh, so that would be exciting, isn't it? It'd be really nice to sort of find out a little bit more about this. I mean, we know a lot of the Roswell thing and sort of things have started to come out. They came out for a little bit, I think it was last year. And then it sort of went all quiet again, and there hasn't been a lot around this again. But I feel like that's going to start coming up again and surfacing again. And again, it's that kind of desensitizing to things. And it's like they're doing that, preparing that prep work for, our future that is coming. I don't really know much about that. I mean, I don't even know who talks to me. It could be, I call them my guides, but it could be some sort of extraterrestrial that chats to me and prepares a lot of people sort of for what's coming. I don't know. These are questions that I often ask them. And when I say, who am I talking to? They just go, us. They always just say, us. They're very cheeky sometimes, my guides. They can be quite funny. But, these are things I ask as well, like, who's talking to me sometimes and giving me those visuals and information. So that's something I'm definitely getting, that they're going to start bringing that back again. We're going to start to have more sightings. And it's saying that it used to be a lot like in desert kind of scenarios, but this is going to be a lot more suburban. That's what I'm definitely getting from them today. There'll be a lot more, well, they're calling them visual strikes, but what they're meaning when they say visual strikes is there'll be a lot more clear visions of them. Like, it's almost like they're showing me that they'll be closer. So it's like they're getting closer and closer. Because it's like people are still scared of the unknown. But it's like people are more curious now. It's very interesting, isn't it? But maybe that's part of the awakening process too. It's that people have become more curious about things and wanting to know about things that we've had questions about for a number of years. This has gone on for a long time. Are there extraterrestrials? Are there spaceships? Not spaceships. Are there UFOs? This has kind of gone on for a long time, but I feel like these things are getting closer now, and people are going to start to see them a lot more regularly. I'm definitely getting that today. Wow, that's an interesting one. That doesn't come up very often. I'll see if there's any final messages today. Oh, okay. The guides, they're saying there's no need to take shelter anymore. So if you're watching my video, they're saying to you that you don't need to shelter anymore. Now, I think it was last week about, we've had to shelter from the storm for a long time and sort of hide away. And I talk about those cellar doors and going under the house. In America, I think you've got these for when tornadoes and and different things come. We related it to the Wizard of Oz when they hid under the house and then they opened the doors, and it's saying that those doors are wide open for us now, that we've emerged. And I talked about this the other day, that we've been helping people, like after the storm, it's like the aftermath. You help people out of the rubble, and you look for anyone who's survived. And this is kind of what they're saying to me now, that we don't have to hide down in that cellar anymore. We can actually stay out and be free, and we've got that. It's like, it's saying, okay, sorry, I'll just start again. It's saying that we've earned the right to walk this earth. So you've earned the right now to stand up tall, head up high, be true to who you are, and those doors are open now. You are free. So they're showing me that it's almost, they're showing me like the doors opening to the cellar or the basement, and you're coming up the stairs, and suddenly you turn into a butterfly. And I mean, the butterfly is that great analogy, isn't it? Because it's always that caterpillar emerging into the butterfly or the moth. You know, the butterfly just spreads its wings and off it goes. And I think they only live for like a day. That, you know, they don't live for very long. So the fact that they have a short life, but they make the most of it in that day. And this is the analogy that I'm going to finish with today, because that's what it's saying. Just be free and go and live your life, and leave all that behind you, because you've changed. Someone actually, one of you is a teacher out there, and I thank her for her input. And she was saying, we're talking about the frog turns into the tadpole, and then it, not the frog, the egg turns into the tadpole and then becomes a frog. So there's all these processes of life, and we're no different. Like, we have those soul breakdowns, and then we emerge into who we truly are. And that's why they're showing me that butterfly escaping and just opening those doors, and the butterfly flies out, and then it's going to go happily along its day and enjoy that one day of freedom that it has. So what the message is, it's not saying that we've got a short life and we're only going to live for a day. That's nothing to do with this. What they're saying is make the most of every moment, because we don't know how long we have got on this earth. And getting caught up in everything is just going to drag us down and ruin that life that we can make a difference with. So that's what I'm getting today. I'm definitely getting, that butterfly is just flying off. And that's the message I'm going to leave you with today. Again, if you see any butterflies, even a moth, I still love moths too. But if you see any butterflies and that today, just think of that in your mind, that that's the symbol of you now, that you have that freedom. We fought back, we did the hard yards, we had our journey, and now we're free to just keep living our life and moving on. And that is where I'm going to leave you today. Go look for those butterflies. I don't think you'll even have to look for them, actually. I think they're just going to land in front of you. Or, like I said, they can appear in a book, or it doesn't matter where they appear. But that's going to be today's symbol I'm going to leave you with again, is the butterfly, because it's very significant to you flying off and having your freedom now. So look, thanks for watching today. I really appreciate it. Stay strong. I know you guys, it's not easy out there. Like I said, we're battling flurona now here in Australia. Very scary, which is the flu and corona, like double whammy. Anyway, I'll say goodbye from Australia. Don't forget, if you're new, to subscribe and hit the bell notification, hit the like buttons. And just a reminder, I've also got tons of self-help videos that can help you around so many issues. If you're feeling depressed, you're feeling lonely, you're wanting to make changes in your life, I've got tons of videos that can help you around these. So please go check them out, and I'll see you in that next video. Bye from Australia. Take care, everyone.